And now, from Glasgow.
So, hello there, it's time for my weekly update. So, this week has been a wonderful week. It always will be because it's my holiday. So, what have I been up to? Let's have a look at last week and what's going to happen next week. So, on Monday we had a double episode of the ET. Now, the new ETs have arrived. So they have been filmed. So issues 21 through to 26. I have filmed those as double episodes. And they will be returning as fortnightly issues. I may actually have got a little bit too far ahead of myself. So I may actually do some triple episodes. In order to just sort of speed them up a little bit, because as you know, the ET does now come it's 6 issues per pack. We also had another ET on the Tuesday, so that was a little bit of a catch up. Now this coming Monday, which is tomorrow, will be a double episode of the Warhammer, of the RoboCop, sorry. Because, as I say, it is now returning fortnightly. It's a little bit awkward to have it fortnightly, but, you know, it's how I'm going to be able to fit things in. Now, how many episodes of the RoboCop is there? I think there's 100 RoboCop, and I think there's 110 of the ET. So let's be realistic. That's not finishing for quite a while. I have a little spreadsheet. And what I do is I colour code everything so I know when the issues have arrived, when I've filmed the footage, when I've made the video, and then when I've uploaded the video. So looking at it right now, I can see I've not uploaded the ETs and the RoboCops, but the videos have been made. Tuesday, Warhammer. Now, I keep saying to you the Warhammer is coming soon, and it will be coming soon. The problem I've got, which I'll deal with at the end of the calendar segment, as I call it, is to do with the hotel. So I've not been able to get any Warhammering done. Now, Wednesday, so that basically means there's not going to be anything on Tuesday for the next few weeks at least. Now, on the Wednesday, I have managed really hard. Really time consuming, but I've managed to get the first video out of the floor for the Eddie Stobart. Now let me show you. I'm confident I'll get this out. I still haven't finished next week's episode. This is now what the floor looks like for the Eddie Stobart. On Wednesday I brought you this, and it looks really nice, and this is the floor finished. It just needs a final sanding, which I will probably get done tomorrow morning. I'm actually filming this at 9:30 on Friday night? Is it Friday today? Wow. So, yeah, I've still got a few days before this goes out. So it is Friday night at the moment as I'm filming this. I have a wonderful neighbour. We get on really well. And I will do as little as I can to upset her, and that includes using my electric sander on my craft desk. So it's a little bit late to do it now. So tomorrow morning I'll get that sanded, and then we'll get that stained. So that is on target to be released for the Wednesday. Now Thursday is Gauntlet Day. Now I can't remember what issues of Gauntlet have arrived, I think 53 is the new pack. Let me have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, I think we're still doing the previous packs. Now, unfortunately, the gauntlet has begun to get very stretched out. As you may know, if you were watching it, we're working on the middle finger. Yes, I did do that on purpose. So we were working on the middle finger, and the pack that we had last week came with the premium base. And I thought it would be more sensible to wait until we finish the middle finger. Then I'll do pack 1 of the premium base. And then I'll do the rest of the issues in the next pack. Then I'll do premium base 2. Because the gauntlet comes in packs of 5. Because I'm premium, I've now reached that point where I get that extra pack extra issue every pack, which is the premium base. I'm not going to spoil the base for you. Do I think it's worth it? I'm not really sure. Now, I have done a dry mock-up. You can't see because my camera's in the way, but there's the dry mock-up of the gauntlet. It is pretty much now full size, and it is huge and it's heavy. So what's going to happen now? There are quite a few issues ready for it. In fact, I've made enough videos to take me through to August. So I'm going to have to, I think they've just taken a payment for what I think is the gauntlet, so we'll have another pack come. So I'm going to start looking at doing maybe 3 issues in a pack. I might even do 1 pack, 1 whole pack, 1 video. So what's going to happen is we are going to have 53 coming this week, 54 the week after, 55 week, 56. Then what I've decided to do in July, we're going to have 57, 58 and 59 all in 1 video. That will finish off the middle finger. Then the week after we have the premium base. Then we have 60 and 61. Now 60 and 61, it starts on the bottom of the gauntlet, and what tends to happen, and I have no issue with this, you tend to get a panel and it says here's a panel, save it till the next issue. Then the next issue, here's a panel, screw that panel to the one you got in the previous issue. So that was a really good opportunity for me to do a double issue. And then because it finishes that pack off, that is premium base 2. That premium base 2 will be coming out in August. I know it's a long way off, but trust me, it'll come. I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler. I had a problem with the issue. Now, going back to the RoboCop, another spoiler, I had a problem with one of the issues on the RoboCop. I contacted FanHome. I said there was a problem with the issue. I then went away to do my job in Manchester for 3 weeks. I've come back, replacement issue. That will be reflected in one of my videos. So kudos to FanHome. Between me and a couple of other part workers, you don't see good things said about FanHome, do you? So you do on this channel. So if something is if I'm unhappy, then I'm unhappy. Which reminds me, going back to the Eddie Stobart, we've got issues 136, 137 coming in July, 138, 139. Don't like them, really not happy with the Eddie Stobart. A little bit more happy with issue 140, but I'll talk about that one in a minute. So sorry, I'm flitting all over the place. So yes, there was a problem with my issue for the premium base 2. It's not a major issue. I've contacted them, and I am confident that when I come back in 3 weeks from Manchester, that issue will arrive, not a problem. Friday, I've still not been able to kick the Lancaster back in, but I'm confident that I will. I'm penciling in 19th of July for my next issue of Lancaster. What it is, I'm not one of these, I don't want to go, oh, it's their fault, whatever. Obviously I'm doing the comparison with the Hachette, and I want to get a few issues ahead. Issue 6 has been completed, and I've built stages 8, 9 and I think 10. I'm just waiting for the comparison for the Hachette. It will come. Now, scale models, I have had to take a back burner on that one. So my new thing is that when it comes to models, I'm not releasing the first video until I've completed the whole build. And then that way, what will happen is, if I've completed a scale model in 10 videos, I will make 10 videos, then I will release one video a week. Then I can start work on the next one. If I don't have the next one completed by the time that 10th video comes out, we'll end up with a little gap for a week or two. But at least once I do a video number 1 unboxing, you know you will get the complete build over a few weeks. And unfortunately I can't be one of those people who release one build, one video. I just don't have the time for it. I'm one of these modelers who sits down, I have a few hours a week, and I just have to use my time. So there is no scale models on a Saturday for the, I'll say, the foreseeable future. Right, so I want to go back to Wednesday, because, as I say, I've got that floor coming out next week. I'm confident I'll have that done. Then we'll have a double issue for Eddie Stobart, 136, 137, 138, 139 the week after. You're going to see a bit of negativity. I'm sorry, I don't call it negativity, I call it being honest. I'm really not happy with the Eddie Stobart. But on the 17th of July, my last video comes out. Now, I was planning on a Eddie Stobart My Thoughts video, but to be honest with you, what I did when I did issue 140, I can actually see it there, it's complete, apart from the floor. I just took a picture of it, and I thought that's going to be sufficient, so I've actually included that in issue 140. That means that on the 24th of July will be, for the first time in a long time, there will be no video coming out on anything, which means on the 31st of July my channel now converts over from Eddie Stobart to what I'm calling Wooden Wednesday. So I will be beginning a wooden model. Do I spoil it for you? I don't think I should, but I'll spoil the first video. So because I'm going to be doing wooden models, which will include ships in the future, I've built myself a little workbench. In fact, what I'm going to do is, while I chat to you, I'm on the Okra website, so I'm gonna show you, if I can find it. Nope, can't find it. So I'll tell you what, I'll find it on the hobby site. So what I've decided is, because I'm going to be building this wooden model, Okra, who's the manufacturer of the first model that I make, they actually do a really nice little workbench. It is primarily designed for ships, but equally you can, let me, almost found it, guys, I'm trying to find it while I talk. Here we go. So this is what I've bought, and this is what I'm going to be showing you on the 31st of July. So this is the Okra Portable Workshop Cabinet Workstation. Now, as you can see on the top there, it has these supports for ships. Now, I'm not going to be building a ship on my first build, but I just looked at this and I thought, yeah, do you know what, that's really nice. I think that'll be really handy. A lot of these wooden models, they come with sprues and they come with like lengths of wood and stuff like that. And then I may have, you see there, look, I've got some brushes, or it's not me, but so we've got lengths of wood in there, and we've got some bits and bobs, we've got some brushes, and we've got a few tools on the back, and we've got these lovely drawers. and a shelf and a little drawer, and I just thought that would be really handy. I did buy it from this shop called Hobbies. I've used this shop once now, and I'll be honest with you, I can recommend it. They are really good service. I spent over £200 with them. They do a membership scheme where you spend £10 and that gives you a year's membership, and you save 5% off all future orders. Because I knew I'd be spending over £200, I got it, and I've saved more than £10 already. And any future orders I make, we save more money on. So that the making of that is coming on the 31st of July, and oops, sorry, I've just got the wrong. There we go. And then beginning on the 7th of August, I'm going to be building a new model. It's a wooden model. It's a completely different challenge for me. So do bear in mind that with regards to this wooden model, it's going to be, regard me as a beginner. Spoiler, I have built four videos so far. I've made. Now the format is going to be, we are just going to build a small amount every week. 1 or 2 stages, sometimes there's a few stages, maybe there's just one, but I'm looking at putting about half an hour to an hour's work into each video. I've just actually finished one video, and all it is gluing in 6 little tiny bits, and I can't go any further because you need to wait for the glue to dry so that you can then do some sanding. So the next video that I'll make, possibly tomorrow if I've got some time, will be sanding, and I just want to take it at a nice leisurely pace, and then it's actually a medium grade model, but what I do want to do, guys, I just want to have a little bit of a cheat. This model, it comes with a paint guide, so you have along the top every single paint in the Ochre range, and then you have down the side every model. And they list the model and they list the skill level, and then where I've coloured them in, that's the paints that I've had to buy. So I can now see at a glance how many paints. So I'm actually already planning my next build, and what I've done is I did select 4 models, and I looked at the models where I already own most of the paints by buying the model, this model's paints. So let me just explain that to you. One of the negatives of buying a scale model of any description, when you buy your first model, I'm using the figure of 10 just to make the maths easier. So you'll go out and you buy a scale model, and it's not as simple as buying just a scale model, because quite often you might need, let's say, 10 paints. The paints are, let's say the paints are £3 each. The model is £30. Lovely, not too expensive. But now you need to buy 10 paints at £3 each. That's £30. So your first model has cost you £60. Then what you do is you buy another model once you finish that. So let's say you buy another £30 kit, but you need 10 paints, but you already own 5 because you bought 10 for the first model. So now you only buy 5 paints. So now your second model has actually cost you £45. And then you keep this going. Each time you buy a new model, you might only need 1 or 2 paints. It depends on the model that you buy, and if you're a little bit clever, you can buy, like if you bought a Spitfire and then you bought a Hurricane, you probably don't need to buy many paints. But if you bought a Spitfire and then say a modern day American jet, you probably got to buy all the paints. So when I bought this model, I needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different paints. So what I've done is I've looked at some low skill models that only need 2 or 3 paints. I've actually looked at 4. Now one of them I don't think is suitable because it's a train wagon, and I think it's probably better to do the train, the main locomotive, before doing the wagon. and also it's listed here as a low skill, but it's actually a medium skill. So let me show you in reverse order of one of the three kits that I'm likely to do. I mean, it's going to be about a year before I finish this model, but let me show you what I'm planning on doing in the future. I just pulled the wrong screen up there. That's how daft I am. So this is model number 1. This is a San 1. As you can see there, it's got a beginner's difficulty beginner's difficulty, so it's nice, easy, and they estimate around about 70 hours to build. If you get some close-up shots, you can see I'm looking at the amount of rigging, because I've never done rigging before, so that's going to be one of my main challenges, and there isn't an awful lot of rigging, so I think that's not a bad one. Now the negatives of this is that I do like to build something that has a little bit more of an interest to me. Now, if this affects you, I don't mean to be mean, but this is a Spanish ship. Where is it? Through the open decree, faithful San 1 that made the first voyage. Really, there's no relevance for me there. I'd just be building it for a ship. So that's why I've kind of placed that in position number 3. Position number 2 is this Buccaneer pirate ship. It says it's easy, and it says that there's 170 hours to build, and they even include video tutorials to help me. And who doesn't like pirate ships? You know, there's something, I know the reality of pirate ships compared to the fantasy of them. You know, we tend to think more Pirates of the Caribbean than we do Somali pirates stealing your artworks that's on a ship. But, you know, who doesn't like a pirate ship? For the money, I mean, look, this San 1, it's a 70-hour build for €95. This Buccaneer pirate ship is 136, but it's going to take you, what, 3 times as long? Well, 2.5 times longer, but you're not paying 2.5 times the price. So, you know, it's quite a good little budget model, isn't it? But look at all that rigging. And that's something that scares me. So that's why I've kind of knocked that one down into 3. The one that I'm most likely to pick, and please give me feedback, guys, is this bounty boat. So for those of you that may not know, they had a mutiny on the Bounty and they chucked the guys in this ship, and obviously they set them out, cast them out, expecting them to die. Now this actually, where are we? So yeah, Captain Bligh along with his 18 loyal members of the crew were cast adrift in this launch, hello you, and made a remarkable voyage to the island of Timor after spending 41 days in the worst possible condition. Rigging is quite minimum, and it is beginner level, and that's about a 70-hour build. And I think, given what that actually is, I think that is very detailed, very, very detailed. You know, something like this Buccaneer, you see you've got loads of different types of thing on there. All this is just a boat, and yet look at all that detail. So that's my favourite one. I think that would be a very good one. You know, this would be my first ship, and that's quite exciting. So as I say, it's a long time before I'm buying those, but this is the kind of thing that I'm planning on doing for my Wooden Wednesday. Right, so yes, I've waffled on quite a bit here, haven't I? So next week, Robocop, Eddie Stobart, Gauntlet, and then the week after, E.T., Eddie Stobart, Gauntlet. Right, so on today, as you're watching this, I am on my way to Manchester. I've got some exciting news for you. Well, it's exciting news for me. So as you all know, or anyone who regularly watches my videos, as you all know, I am a long bus driver. I go to what used to be London, but now it's Manchester, and I'm there for 3 weeks. Then I come home for 3 weeks and I work out of my home depot for 5 days a week for 3 weeks. Then I go back to Manchester and then I come home for a week's holiday. I'm currently on my week's holiday. I'm about to go back to Manchester. Anyone who's been watching my very low quality bus drivers, Diary of an On-Loan Bus Driver, you see I've really not been enjoying it. I enjoy it more now than I did at the beginning of the 3 weeks. And also, as you can probably imagine, the wages I get from Manchester are lower than the wages I get in London. That's just the way it is. Some areas pay more money. But I found myself in a situation now where I'm working away for 3 weeks at a time. I take like a model hobby kit with me when I was in London, I had a suitcase full of hobby kit stuff so I could get on with stuff while I'm in the hotel. And then when I come home, I used to put it all in the suitcase, put it in their storeroom. The hotel that I'm at doesn't allow storage, so I can't, unless I go in my car, I can't keep taking my model stuff. So for the next 3 weeks I'll have no hobby gear. I'm on roughly the same money as I would be when I was doing coaches in Scotland. So I've applied for a new job. I've actually applied for an old job that I had before. I did lose my job. I was a little bit silly. I've always been honest about this. I did something a little bit silly, nothing illegal, but I broke what is a company policy, and I lost my job, and I had no quibbles about that. I have always said, if you do something naughty and you get caught, you've got no cause to complain. But I did lose my job, and I've now actually been recommended that apparently they're quite short of drivers now, and one of the managers was saying, like, do you know anyone who might want to drive coaches? And a couple of people have mentioned me and said that she worked for you before, blah blah blah, this is the situation. And he said get in touch. So I've got in touch with them. Now the logistics, is that the word for it? I was offered an interview the other day, and I said, oh look, I'm available Thursday or Friday. I said I haven't got my tachograph yet because I've voluntarily given it up. Tachograph, you need that you put it into a machine that records all your driving hours. It's a legal requirement. And I said, look, it's going to take about 3 weeks, so I'd like to come along for the interview, and then I can give 3 weeks notice if I get the job. And he says, look, it'd be better if you come along once you come back from Manchester. So I'm going to contact him in a couple of weeks, and I'm quite confident that what they'll do is I'll contact them just before I come back from Manchester. I'll have the interview on the Monday, and hopefully within a day he will say yes, you start with us, or you don't start with us. And if he says you start with us, I'll hand my week's notice in to my current job. I will be faithful to my current job. I'm not one of these that go, I'm off. I will give my minimum required notice period, and then I'll be doing coaches again, and I anticipate it's going to be a much better job than before. The company that I'm applying for, they do the Scotland to London run. If you think National Express, Megabus, it's not either of those companies. If you're in America, think Greyhound. So you've got the coaches, long distance coaches, and what we used to do was we go from Scotland to London, and it would be a 2-day shift. You'd go down 1 day, hand over your bus, have a little bit of a kip in a hotel, and then come back the next day. And that used to be either a 4 or a 6 day week. Now the problem we used to have was every so often you got a long weekend, so you would get 3 days off, and because the shifts are 2-day shifts, you can't do any overtime, because suddenly your 3 days off now becomes 1 day off, and then that interferes with the law. The company that I'll be hopefully get working for, they've made such a success of these runs they actually do what we call northbound, which is Scotland to Scotland, and they're only single day runs. So that means I'll be able to pick some overtime up and only do 1 day's work. So it's going to be even better than it was before. The money will be roughly the same as I had been in Manchester, so I'll still be able to save for my house. The difference being is that instead of saving, well, I'll probably be saving about £30 a week less, which in the long scheme of things is not too bad. As you know, I'm desperately trying to save for a house. I'm at the age now where I don't have an awful lot of time left to get a mortgage. I certainly don't have 25 years of my working life left. So I'm really realistically looking at a 10-year mortgage. But I need to save for the deposit. And I am ahead of schedule on saving for that deposit. Putting all the extra hours in London, it's really paid off. So yeah, hopefully, and I've just been thinking, why am I away for 3 weeks when I could be home for the same money? And this week has made it even worse, because I've come home. I've got 2 beautiful cats that love me, and I miss them. And you'll see videos. They get in on just about every single video I make, and then I go to bed at night, and I wake up in the morning and my cat's sleeping on my bed, and my other cat, she doesn't sleep on the bed, she does her own thing, but you can see the love in her eyes every time she sees me, and we have this little cuddle in the morning. And what kind of price do you put on that? Some of you guys have got family. Waking up in the morning and seeing your son or your daughter or your wife or your husband, my cats are that to me, and that's something that I'm just starting to and I'm just about to leave them for another 3 weeks. So yeah, hopefully new job. And of course what that means now is I won't be doing stuff in the hotel. It means I'll be doing all my modelling. I'll have about the same amount of time for doing modelling, except it'll all be done at home on this desk. So the cameras that I've got, they'll all be consistent quality. Yeah, so that's basically it. One thing you will have noticed, I've been having trouble with the sound on my videos. I use a program called Power Director 365. It is a very good program. If you use something different and you get on very well with your editing, my recommendation is stick with what you've got. I use Power Director, very, very good. Now, one feature it has is that you can normalize the sound. So you might have lots of clips and they're all different volumes. And what you do is you set the cursor at a particular point, and then you hit normalize, and it sets all of the volume based on where the cursor is. And I've actually downloaded, I'll be honest with you, it's the BBC test card, and it's just that funny girl doing the noughts and crosses, and it goes beep. And what I do is I drag that into the video, I put that right at the beginning, I press play for about halfway through, then I hit the normalize, and then once it's all normalized, I remove that test card, and then what I'm left with. So I'm always setting it for the same thing. Now the problem I've been having is that sometimes it sets it really low, sometimes it sets it really high, and I've just recently found out it depends on the loudest clip on the video. So if the loudest clip on the video is louder than the test card, it will actually pull the test card volume down. And likewise, if you've got the loudest clip is lower than the test card, it pushes it all up. And I've just noticed in the last week, and I feel daft for this, you need to look at the volume of the test card. Start with it set for 0, and you can actually adjust the volume plus 12 decibels or minus 12 decibels. So what you do is, if say for example if it's set the test card for minus 5 decibels, what you then do is you take the master volume and you increase it by 5 decibels, which brings that test card back up to where it was. So you should soon be seeing all of my videos are of a consistent volume. I don't know if they're loud or quiet compared to other YouTubers, but all my videos should now start to come out roughly the same volume. So I feel a bit daft that I've only now discovered that, but isn't that what video editing is all about? You discover things. Right, so what have I been watching? I've been watching Doctor Who. I don't watch a lot of programs. So by the time you watch this, the second part of the finale will have come out, and I can't comment on it because I'm filming this before. But I watched the first part, and I actually really liked it. I'm actually getting fed up of YouTubers. So there's a couple of YouTubers. Most YouTubers are honest, and they say, I liked this because I didn't like it because, and that's fine. Not everyone's going to like it. But some of the issues that I had in the beginning of the series, I don't mind certain things like man-on-man kissing, all these various LGBT issues they brought in. I don't have a problem with that if it's brought into the program naturally, if it's just a natural thing. I have a problem with it if you're making an agenda on it. What I'm finding some YouTubers are doing is they're constantly looking for the agenda, and I'm going to go as far as saying they're actually ruining the show for me. So I've stopped watching them. I'm now watching. There's a couple of YouTubers that actually say some videos they don't like and some they do like. And I think they're maybe the genuine ones to watch. And I did hear one real funny criticism. The part 1 of the finale has actually raised more questions. It has unanswered questions. Hello, it's a 2-parter. So, you expect all the questions to be answered in part 2. Now, by the time this has been released, you may have seen part 2, and you might be watching me and thinking, well, she's daft because it is actually a load of tosh. I haven't seen it yet. I also watched the, is it called Tales from the TARDIS? Came out on BBC 4 on, Friday now, so it must have come out today. It must have come out at midnight. And what they do is they basically rehash an old Doctor Who for the purposes of just filling in a gap that you've got. So obviously on part 1 of Doctor Who finale, they've introduced Sutekh. So what they've done is on Tales of the TARDIS, they have shown the old episode featuring Sutekh. So now we know who he is. We know where he's come from. We have a little bit of background. I thought that was pretty good. The other thing that I've been watching, yes, couldn't wait for this, House of the Dragons, Hot D as some people call it. House of the Dragons season 2. Episode 2 will be coming out, if you're watching this on a Sunday, it will be coming out at 2 in the morning on Monday. I will not be watching it at 2 in the morning. I did watch it at 2 in the morning when it came out before, 'cause obviously I was on holiday. Absolutely love it. Now, I'm not a book reader, so although it's a not historical recreation, if you read all the books, you know exactly what happens. And I know I can go on to Wikipedia and I can see what happens. I don't know if I'm lucky or not, because when we had Game of Thrones, everyone was saying, oh, you need to read the books, And, what do you enjoy more? Do you read a film? Do you enjoy a film adaptation of a book that you've read? Or, do you read the books after you've seen the film? So I'm still trying to catch up on the books. I just don't have the time to read them. But I've not read the House of the Dragon books, the books that are relevant to House of the Dragons. So it's all new for me. I don't know what's happening next. But yeah, season 2, episode 1, really enjoyed that. And I'm really looking for the repercussions in season 2. I have been watching the analysis videos, and I've been watching the preview, the trailer spoilers, and I think I know what's going to happen in season 2, but we don't actually know what's going to happen. So good bit of TV. Now, for someone who says they don't watch a lot of TV, there's a good bit of TV on at the moment that I'm watching, but that's the only thing I'm watching. Euros, if anyone's into the Euros, there's a team down south of the border that they're playing some games. Some team. Scotland, though, they're in the Euros. We had a disappointing result against Germany. But I think we could have won against Switzerland, but 1-1 draw will do. Now we're up against the weakest team in the group. A win. I think if we win that, I think that's going to send us through to the knockout stages. Am I being hopeful? Have I been drinking too much Iron Brew? Do I have too much hope now? But there's places up for grabs. First and second in the group will see you through to the next stages. But there's places up for grab in the for third place team. Now there's a couple of teams I've seen where the team currently in third and fourth are on 0 points. One of those teams may win and get 3 points. If Scotland win, they could be in second place if Germany beat Switzerland big, which is possible, and Scotland win, say 1 or 2-0. They could quite easily find themselves in second place. But let's go realistic. Let's see them with 4 points in third place. You guys were laughing at us after the first game. 5-1 defeat. You all laughed at us. We could actually reach the knockout stages. So come on, Scotland! And like I say, there's a team down south of the border. They're playing as well. They'll probably go through, because they always do. How far they go, I don't know. And to be honest with you, if they win it, fantastic. It's nice to see the home nations teams do well. But I will be... I've declared myself as a Scottish fan now for a good few years now. I grew up in England, but, Scotland is my home now. Right, guys, so I have waffled on for far too long. I have got loads of washing to do. I've got an Eddie Stobart floor to sand and put some wood stain on. I've had an absolutely lovely week. I can't wait to go back. And then in 3 weeks' time, it's job advert time. Hopefully I'll come home to a shiny new tachograph card so that I can start driving coaches. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any filming in the next 3 weeks because, let's say, there's a new hotel, there's no storage, so I don't want to set too much up, but I might just set up a basic camera. I will try to pop in a few diary of a on loan bus driver, but it really depends on the facilities I've got. Anyway, guys, absolutely wonderful talking to you as always. Always lovely being home. I know my room is messy and I am clearing a little bit at a time, but it's my room, it's my home, and I love being here. So for the next 3 weeks you won't see this, but that's how it goes. So take care, guys. Have a lovely week. If you are doing anything hobby wise, try to do it with a smile on your face. Don't listen to other people saying you're doing things wrong. If you are enjoying it and you are doing a better job than you did it in the last model, then that's a success and it's brilliant. Take care, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.